the laws of tahara, purity. And within purity comes impurity. Everything that God creates the opposite of it too. So we're doing the laws of the impurity of food. And we say the impurity of food, we don't mean, you know, the the microbiology of food and what's good, how much sugar can I have in my food, That's not what we're talking about. Right. Okay. It's a spiritual impurity we're talking about. Chapter number 7. A column of liquid being poured is not considered as joined. So it's very technical laws over here. And as we just learned in Tanya, technical laws gives us a notion that the technicality of it is what's important, which of course it is, because, as every lawyer will tell you, everything is in the nitty-gritty details. So absolutely. But at the same time, we have to recognize that it is the tree of life, and just the learning of itself is an attachment and a bond to life itself. So the idea over here is that if in food or a liquid, if you touch one part of it, does it affect the entire part? What is something called joined? You have two pieces of dough, right? And and impurity touches one. And let's say they're two separate pieces, but they're somehow connected. Are they joined or not? Right? So let's say you had, here we're talking about a column of liquid that you pour. So is it connected where you're pouring into the cup? Right? And one is impure. So he's going to explain. So he says, no, neither the impure entity nor to the one that is pure. They're not connected. So what does it imply? One is pouring pure liquids, pure meaning it's not impure, right? Into an impure container. So the container is impure, and you're pouring now pure water or whatever it is, right? Or even on a carcass of a crawling animal, which that's impure, right? So it's not just, that's even a more stringent impurity. The column of liquid being poured is pure. Now, of course, what fell on the rodent, right, or into the container that's impure, what falls in there becomes impure. The question is, though, the flow of it. Where does the impurity begin? Is it once you start pouring, so we join it from the pour to the container? No, only what fell into the container, right? From that point, if one would collect some of the liquids that are being poured while they're in the air, what he collects is pure. So yeah, let's say you're pouring, and all of a sudden, oh, you realize it's an impure container, and you sort of, push it away and put it into whether back into that container, the jug that you're pouring from or whatever, that remains pure, right? If one would collect some of the liquids that are being poured while they're in the air, and it's pure. Needless to say, the liquids in the container themselves from which one is pouring, that's pure, right? If they were joined, let's say they were considered joined, right? Then what's pouring is already impure, and then what's even in the container would be considered impure. But we're saying it's not that. They're not considered joined. When does the above apply? So there's a parameter to this law. When one is pouring cold liquids to cold liquids, hot liquids to hot liquids, or hot liquids to cold ones. If, however, one pours pure cold liquids into impure hot liquids, right? The bottom is hot. The column of liquids being poured is considered joined. The liquids are considered as primary derivative impurity. They impart impurity to the container to which they are held. So, now he explains why is that? But why in that instance? So he says, why did the sages say that when one pours cold liquids into hot liquids, the liquids are considered as joined? Because the vapors of hot liquids ascend like a pillar of smoke. It becomes intermingled with the column of liquid being poured, and the liquid of the upper container causing it to become impure. For the vapor ascending from the hot liquid is also considered as liquid. Wow. So yeah, what happens? So this is hot over here. The fact you pour cold, you're going to create now a vapor to go up. That vapor, it's not, if it was literally water, gushing up, then of course it's going to hit the water here. It's going to make it impure, but it's only vapor. But vapor is considered a liquid. And therefore, since this is impure in the container over here, the vapor going up is going to impure that water. Fascinating. But if it was cold down here, so you're not making a vapor, right? Even if you're pouring hot water into it, it's not going to create a vapor because it's going to be, what's the word? It's going to be neutralized by the cold water, right? Because the cold is going to be stronger because it's in a container than what you're pouring in. Okay. Okay. I would love to continue, but I can't.
Thank you.